so I can give them better support, so I can move to a better environment, so I can, whatever it takes, I'm looking to better myself. And by the Most High wisdom and strength, I'm doing so. I'm doing that. So as time go on, I'm able to do, you get better jobs, you get promotions. So I'm able to do more things with the children that my wife and I are having. We're a family there. I still got my daughter that's outside the marriage, paying support on that. But she come over and visit, but she in the predicament somewhat of what I was in as a child. So she over there thinking now, well, look at him. Why he doing all that with them? And he didn't do that with me. Mm. Look at what he buying them. Look at the love he's showing them. Where was he at when I was that age? You see the time? See how the thing out around? And the same thing with my spiritual dad. His two boys grown now. His son's grown. He getting sick. He falling ill. One of his sons coming around and started having a conversation with him. One didn't. One kept that bitterness until he left him. But we're gonna get into him leaving, to my spiritual dad leaving just recently though. So like I said, now my daughter probably on the outside looking at what I'm doing with my family because I'm bettering myself. I'm, getting different jobs and getting promotions. And then I eventually got to the point where I'm a business owner. So now as being a business owner, I can adjust my schedule. I can go have lunch with my children if I want to and go to work afterwards. So I'm doing these things to be involved in my children's lives, But the child that's outside of that is not understanding them. If you don't have a conversation with them and let them know, look, as adults, or as not just men, as adults, we have different phases in our lives where if we do the right thing, so good, then good's gonna come. You have more resources and you can do more. Not only I tell you this, not only my daughter outside of my marriage, but even my first son that was in the house with me later told me he felt like I was doing more with my youngest son than what I was doing with him. This in the house.
In the same house.
In the same house.
So the observation that I had from the sideline again, I'm going through the exact same thing. I got my first three children, they all grown.
Right.
28, 27, and 19.
Yes, sir.
Got a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and one that's about to come. Whole different person, whole different life. Still trying to do both. But here's where that middle thing come in at. And what you just said, and you went through it. I can sit my 19-year-old down right now and explain to him why I do more for Messiah, who's for. He's still not going to get it until he has the responsibility of being a man and he becomes a parent himself.
Absolutely.
And then you will start to see that some of my decisions, although you don't view them the way that they went, this is what needed to be done. And a bigger, smaller picture, bigger scale, you the micro of the Most High God. You don't understand why he whoop your head when he whoop your head.
That's right.
He ain't going to explain to you why he whoop your head. It just, my head get whooped and I know who whooping it. And then after I'm through whooping it, I'm going to clean you up, put you back on high. And I'm not going to explain to you why I whooped your head because guess what? You should know. Same with our children. So we got to have that kind of relationship with them to the point where, yeah, I'm whooping your head right now. And I'm not going to explain to you why I'm doing it because you should know.
Right.
And it's hard as a father. I'm sure it's hard for the Most High to look at the suffering that goes on in the world and not be able to explain it and ain't not willing to. So it's hard for you. It's hard for me. But my advice is, even in those situations, if somebody listening, you just got to wait till you get grown and then put yourself in your mama. Like me, it took me this long to finally put myself in my mama's shoes. And we don't talk as much as never hardly, but it's not a painful place for both of us. Just we finally grew to the point where we mutually understand. We never had it. We're not going to get it. I'm not upset with you. I'm not going to die bitter and you not either because it's like a palm passe. Because you're not going to explain to me the stuff that I've had to go ask my grandmother and my aunties about. And now I get it, but you don't even know I get it. But you still not, and you don't owe me that as your son. Why make my mama indignify herself and tell me about her childhood traumas that caused her to become who she is? That'll just open up her wounds. So now as a man, I want my mama bad as all outdoors. She's alive. She's well. She's doing but we didn't have it because of her and my father. But if I go back and say, Mama, and I did this, and this one made her shut the door, like, okay, you gonna make me talk about my past? I don't want to do it. Because I was forcing that conversation because it was all about me. I need to know. Tell me, Mama, why you didn't. And I don't want to talk about that because guess what that does for me? For one, it makes me feel inadequate as a mom because you're right, son. And for two, I have to go back and figure out why I done you like that, which is gonna sound like a sack of potatoes to you. So the high road for a parent, I'm learning this from her. I ain't about to explain it to my son because none of it's gonna never be enough anyway. So I digress with that point, but that's what I could see your daughter on the outside when you was leading up. I was like, yep, she about to go through what he went through. She gonna have her own bitterness about it because now he's this great guy all of a sudden, but you can't explain it. She just got to live life long enough to accept, like, I get it now, Pops. And then she'll honor you. That's what it's saying in the Bible. Honor your mother and father so your days will be long. You know what I'm saying? So it got to just happen in its own course. I think.
Absolutely. And that's right, brother, because she has 3 children now. So it's me and her relationship is and all the children, I mean, her and my other 2 daughters, bro, you can tell that they didn't grow in the house together. I mean, they that tight. Everybody, we good. Because I had that conversation with her. You know, as these things are being revealed to me, I'm not gonna hold them. I got to let's have this talk, baby. Let's get this clear, you know, because I don't want to be sick or leave here and we talk about it then. Let's talk about it now. Let me explain some things to you.
And I think when it comes to like young parenting, there are circumstances that parents go through at a young age that they haven't fully understood. So it's a process in life that we go through, even as young parents as ourselves. I know we're at a point right now in a stage that we can comprehend a lot of things that we may have done previously last 10, 20 years. And we're thinking to ourselves, like, we can do better. And then we're always trying to advise our children to go that route. But sometimes they can always look back, depending on how old they are. I remember when you was doing this.
Right.
I remember. So it's a challenge, and they have to grow up to understand what you went through. And for the most part, we love our children. And the certain things that we do it. You know, but they don't understand.
They don't get it until they have to do it for their own.
Right.
I knew some of your story and you really elaborated, but that was the reason I picked that word interdependence, because a lot of time we have children, all of us are fathers, and you know, you have a dependent. So we, as a dependent, not just on your tax form, but all of us know when you had that baby, they're totally dependent on you. They can't do anything for themselves. That's dependent. But when we talk about the Most High and we get in tune with the universe, there's an interdependence between us and our children. And we have to be able to go full circle and realize we need them as much as they need us. And it may not come at the time of our choosing, but we need to form that interdependence because that's what makes us whole. When we step outside, like, and see, when you had that bitterness, and it's hard to open that door to the independence. I thankfully see with your daughter, you develop the love and the compassion to show her the interdependence, and she was able to receive it. But the key is before one of you passed, because in the case of your biological dad, it didn't happen. That interdependence was there, but the links in that chain was broken. And because of that broken link, it didn't get mended while he was here. But it's mended with you because I know you, I know where you are with the Most High. Therefore, it's been healed. Unfortunately, it didn't get healed before he left.
That's right. That's right. And I'm glad you brought that back up, because going back to when I said that the Most High dealt with me after his passing, and I was in there emotionally, after I went through all of that and calmed down, I did tell my dad. I said, Dad, I forgive you. I forgive you and I love you. I said that openly. And that's, you know, that gave me peace about that whole situation, you know.
Because but it took a lot to do.
Yes,
I'm gonna tell you. Now roll the clock back. When you was packing.
No.
That kid, dude, all three of us could have had you on the ground. You wouldn't have said it. Impossible.
Right. But that moment, like you said, and when he called me, he said, I said it. said, Lord, said, Most High, I said, thank you. I told my dad I forgive him and I love him. And even going back to my spiritual dad, he left, and I told you he had 2 sons. Now he left a little country town in Perry, Florida. And, 2 sons there, he told me what he was making a day, what he had to give his mom. I mean, you talking cents now. You ain't talking no big money.
I know what period. They nothing up there.
Yes. So he working and getting maybe $5 a week. And he got to give his mama 2 or 3 of that. He gave the girl $1 and then he got $1 to last him the next week. So he really left, like you said, as a man, he wasn't, I don't think in his heart of hearts, running from a situation. I think he was running to better himself to possibly say, hey, I got a job here, I'm making some money. Maybe y'all can come and be with me here. But that didn't happen.
What years are we talking?
Oh, he's 20 years older than me. So, I was in 70, so he was born in the 50s. So
and see the cultural difference and North. See, we have to realize we got to be North Florida. I know what Perry is.
yes.
My folk up, it's like
Nothing up there.
I
You
can-
just go
bro,
there and
no.
get off to go fishing. That's the only thing you go through.
I can we going in Perry, leaving Perry. I can remember having those folks still. We had to go get served out of the back.
Yes.
So it was a whole lot of dynamics.
Yes. So he, really running from that to try to better himself. You know what I'm saying? But, the chain of events just happened that he met my mom and they became a couple and, and that was that. But getting to him, and like I said, let me try to bring it in because now I got my family, we doing well. And of age now that my parents are starting to have health issues. So my spiritual dad first got diagnosed with a heart issue that he had to have open heart surgery. So my mom had 1 more year of employment that she can retire with full benefits. But when he had that situation, she chose to quit and stay at home and take care of him. That's that old school boy.
Yep.
That's that old school love there, boy. Yeah, so she chose to stay at home and take care of him, which she did. And his health just declined from there. He had open heart surgery. He lost both his kidneys because he wasn't taking care of himself, drinking water, doing none of that stuff.
Right? Your spiritual dad.
This is my spiritual dad, yes. Biological is gone.
Yeah.
So my spiritual dad, he wasn't taking care of himself health-wise. So open heart surgery, both kidneys, so he doing dialysis. You brothers know about this stuff because we were together during these times. Diabetic, had both legs amputated at different phases of toe, in up to the knee, then maybe a foot, then up to the knee, but both legs amputated. So when he first started going down, it was tough on me, because this man, I'm used to seeing this man as a strong man. Now he's not a like I told you, he's not an emotional, like, birthdays and stuff like that. When he would get me something, yeah, boy, there's something on that table in there for you. Like, man, the guy really want to give me something? Well, he telling me with an attitude. But once again, let me give you a little more of his background. Now, this is a brother that has 11 brothers. 11 biological brothers, same mom, same dad. She had 12 boys. So you might can understand why. And then you're talking, his dad was every bit of 25, maybe 30 years older than his mom. This during those times when
you get grown enough, you can come on out the house, go down there and help out.
Exactly. An older man will come to your parents' house and say, I've been watching that girl, let me get her. Of course. It should go, what you gonna give me? Give me a dozen of eggs, a few chickens.
No mouth, don't feed.
That's right. He don't have to worry about it no more. So he coming from this. And I'm talking about
what number of boy was he? Because it's probably a little easier being number 1 than it is to be 12.
No, he was around that just over the middle. So he
that's rough. You in the middle of the middle. It's rough in there. It's rough in the back.
Yeah. So he coming from that. So it's no, it's no loving, nurturing, which a father can give his son that. Some of us brothers think we can't show our sons love, and it's primary the mom. Yes, we look for that, but I tell my sons I love them. I embrace my son. I hug my sons. You know what I'm saying? I kiss my sons on the neck. So I don't see nothing. And I'm all man. Hey, bro, check me out if you don't believe me. But I'm all man. So some of us think that's you're gonna. If that ain't in you, bro, and that ain't in your genes, then you ain't got to be concerned about your son developing that. Let your son see a man.
Exactly.
If you have that fear of your son being feminine or something like that.
I was gonna say that it's a phenomenal side of us that we need to show, but it don't have to be shown the way that we see.
Your mom.
But we have to have we have to be sensitive about our children, and because that's another part of fatherhood. Making sure that we provide, making sure that we offer that to our children, that love, that care, that we are here, but you can be emotional, you can cry, because the narrative is, you don't supposed to cry, you got to be tough, you got to hold it in, never show emotions, but then how someone is going to be able to relate to you if you don't show any type of emotions? How I know how you feel if you don't show me your emotions? So that's when you're talking about as far as a father, it's showing that child, that young man that you're trying to raise, it's okay to show your emotions. I love you. Kiss, like you say, kiss him on the neck, go ahead, kiss him in the mouth if you want to. But the point is, we have to have that side of us that we can show our children, our young men, so that they can have that side of them. It ain't about being homosexual and all that stuff there. We have to look past that there. You can still love a woman, you can still be with a woman, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to show those
It's
emotions.
a shame that we have to throw that much of a preamble out there
just
to talk about love. Love ain't just a feminine principle; it's a masculine principle as well.
Definitely more.
The masculine part of love is the showing of it.
That's right, bro.
Feminine principle of it is the passive side. That's what
there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
give you.
There you go, brother.
So I'm all for love, big time love. When it
Yes.
comes even amongst brothers, you know how rare it is. I went through a childhood, man. Out from the time I was 9. I had the same best friend, and we don't even use that term because that sound is soft. It's the same, everything, sleep in the same beds, wore the same shirt when we only had one West Side shirt, the whole 9. The love that I had for him was stronger than my own biological siblings. And sometimes people could even see that. And I appreciated that love. And this is what my wife can attest to. She's on the Zoom. When that relationship broke, you'd have thought I went through a real breakup. Like I was calling his phone, like, "Hey, bro, I'm about to pull up over here. I want to bump. I want to fight because why you not there? Because we disagreed. Something finally came between us, and we just couldn't agree on it no more. And now he's a man, and he want to go off and do his own thing, and I'm a man, and we broke up. And I went through like a year breakup with this guy. No homo. I love you that much, bro.
Right,
we've been through more than me and any woman I had ever been with until my wife.
Gotcha.
So love is something that is rare between us, but when we find it, you build a real brotherhood. It's something that we actually yearn for because, again, what he said about 30 words before he said, because I don't want to, we got to make sure that's how they done conditioned us. Because we didn't get love from our quote unquote master when we got here. He's a hard man, put his boot on your neck. He turned us and now we got to be tough and keep the front. Generation after generation after generation, we just, like you said, it was totally acceptable for Pawpaw to be like, "It's food in there." And niggas, "It's cool, Pawpaw." But it's not okay. I'm big in my family with accountability. I hold a mirror up to my grandmother every chance I get. My grandma sometimes is a very, very mean person. And if you allow her to be mean until she leave here, it scares me for her. I need you to see this, Grandma. So when I hold her mirror up, I'm just holding the mirror. Look, see yourself. because nobody else, or we get so comfortable letting our leaders, whether it's the matriarch or the patriarch, carry on in such ways. But she raised you to be a strong man, to challenge me if I need you to. If I'm wrong, you the one who I need to challenge me because I raised you like that. So we got to take their role and responsibility, because that's love too, showing you yourself. So it shows. I'm big on that, man. Accountability,
Absolutely,
in
brother.
relationship. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
All right, brothers. Well, we coming up on actually we at the half-hour point. You know, it's a lot more we want to get into. We're at that point. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come right back. We're gonna talk a little bit about the current news of today. You gonna hang around with us, bro?
Absolutely, brother.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.